In 1998, the world was introduced to the popular toy Furby. You might remember it. Year, it was on almost every child's Christmas list. Everyone wanted a Furby. But today, we're going to talk about the dark side of Furby. I'm going to share real stories from people that had a very scary experience with their Furby. Well, it would be a Furby. A friend bought me one as a joke while we were stationed in Germany. The one she got me was red and black and evil looking. Well, fast forward a couple weeks after losing interest in the thing, I'm sleeping and I suddenly hear this demonic, gravelly voice coming from my bookshelf. Not the sound of batteries running out, but a seriously demonic voice. I jump up and turn on the lights and search for the sound. I hear it coming from the top shelf, and when I look, nothing is there. Suddenly, I hear the voice behind me, and the little bastard is sitting on the top of my wall locker just repeating this ka 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 sound. Then it says, "Hello, son, I missed you." I immediately took it out to the burn pit and cleansed it with fire. It screamed as it burned. I can still hear those screams 10 years later. Had two Furbies. They were buried in the bottom of my toy box. Sleeping in the dead of night, years after we got them, I hear a deep, slow voice groaning, "Feed me." Oh, hell no. Screamed, ran to my parents' room, woke them both up, had them come into my room to get the monster away. They go digging around the room when we hear it again. "Feed me," it said. More screaming and crying. Finally, my dad pulls out this half-dead Furby from inside the toy box and goes to smash it with a hammer in the garage. Still had nightmares from that one years later. I had a Furby that I had loved for a few months. Then I turned her off and set her up in my closet. I didn't want to give her away. She sat there in view with her eyes closed for probably about 4 years. One day, I open my closet door. Her eyes are open. She blinked at me. Then I got rid of her. My brother had one that he left in the kitchen one night. In my half-asleep stupor, all I could see was black kitchen blobs, since I didn't want to turn on the light and burn my eyes out. So I get my glass of water and start to head back when I hear something giggle behind me, then ask for food. I couldn't see anything, so I just backed away slowly and it said, "Bye." I didn't go in the kitchen the next day until my mom went and figured out what the hell that was. Turns out I couldn't see it because he took off all the fur part, so it was just a black blob of parts. I'm glad I couldn't see it because all there really was were a pair of eyes to see, and that would have scared me worse than anything. So my sister used to collect all these Furbies, hundreds. It was weird, but that's just her. One day she buys one off of eBay. We thought it was a joke. It said haunted Furby. It was cheap enough, so she went for it. Huge mistake. Strange things started happening after she got it. She started noticing some coming up missing. At first, she blamed me, but after searching my room, she begrudgingly dropped it. For a couple of weeks, Furbies would come up missing without a trace. My sister had become depressed at the loss. One night, I woke up. It was pitch black. I could hear something small moving out in the hallway. I gave a disgusted groan at the thought of rats or mice. I got out of bed and grabbed my hockey stick. I felt my way to the door. Just as I pulled it open, I hear, "Doody doody." Still pitch black. I could only see 2 robotic eyes at the floor. I yelled in shock, then gave a relieved laugh when I realized it was just a Furby. Figuring my dog had been playing with it and thinking that I had figured out the case of the missing Furbies, I grabbed the toy and shuffled to my sister's room to return the furry toy. I opened my sister's door, leaving the light off as to not wake her. Trying not to trip over anything, I slowly made my way to her Furby shelf. I had just set it down and was making my way out of the room when I stepped on something hard. Biting my lip to keep from crying out in pain, I looked down to see what I had stepped on. I couldn't make it out in the poor light. I bent over and picked it up. It was a Furby head. Looking at the floor a little longer, I discovered that her floor was littered with pieces of Furbies everywhere. That's when I heard my sister's muffled cries. I looked at her, only to see that she was tied up and gagged with a terrified look behind me. Ooh, yeah, was all I heard from behind me. Okay, that one might not be real. It's kind of scary and funny, but my sister and I both received them for Christmas, though we didn't ask for them. A few weeks later, we were playing Barbies in our room when the two Furbies started talking for no reason at all with their creepy voices. From that moment, we knew they were evil or at least possessed by tiny demons, so we decided to throw them away. We did. They showed up the next morning on our dresser that was right next to our beds. Scared us even more. So we decided to destroy them with heat. My mom had a Showtime rotisserie oven that she bought off of TV. We put our Furbies in it and tried to roast them. She saw it, took them out, and placed them on top. She forgot to turn off the rotisserie, and the lower half of them melted into this nasty plastic fur and wire mound of a toy. My dad came home from work that day, and after getting pissed at us, went to the garage, scraped them off with a paint scraper. He put them back in our room on our dresser and told us we better not throw them away. My sister and I still have melted Furbies in our old room on the shelf of our closet.